So if you turn over the page, one of the first things I want to talk about with physical resilience is diet. And I'm not talking about being on a diet. I'm talking about nutrition. Okay, show of hands. Because before we do that, we eat because it forms the building blocks of our bodies, right? But we eat for a million other reasons. We eat when we're bored. We eat when we're happy. We eat to be sociable. I eat when it's 5 o'clock. All right. You watch me looking around the kitchen at 5 o'clock. All right. Just because it's 5 o'clock. We work in Martin Place, right? So if you're ever in Sydney at Christmas, you know the big Christmas tree? We look out of our office at that tree, right? That's where we are right now. And my parking spot's at the Western Hotel. And I was walking across Martin Place and there was a little stall there that used to sell like lottery tickets and magazines and things like that. And I was walking past there and buying a packet of cheese twisties obviously not chicken twisties, because anyone that eats chicken twisties is a weirdo, right? Anyway, I've just lost half the room. I was buying a packet of cheese twisties and then I would be eating these as I drove home, until we had a bit of an intervention when I came home with the orange dust on me for a couple of weeks. And my wife said, "What is this?" And I told her, and she goes, "Why are you doing that?" And I didn't have an answer, right? And so what I've got now is a jar of nuts in my car, right? A jar of nuts, because I can open a jar, eat a couple, and put the lid on. If I open a packet of chips, I eat the whole packet, right? So and by the way, nuts. You know when you went to your grandma's house when you were a kid and they had the mixed nuts, and all we do is just eat the cashews. All right. Okay. My mixed nuts are only cashews and macadamias. That's all that's in my mixed nuts. All right. But the fact is, we eat for a whole variety of other reasons. Show of hands, whose parents did this to them? Eat everything on your plate. Show of hands, who did that? All right. I know, right? I remember when I first started dating my wife, that we go to a restaurant, I'd finish my meal, she wouldn't finish hers, so I'd finish hers. Now, right now, I don't want it and I'm not hungry. Why am I doing it? Because of my parents. All right, because of my parents. So there may be some stuff you want to do. Now, if you're interested with making any changes with your diet, I got one of my mates who's a nutritionist, works for Unilever, to, on page 7, give us some nutritional tips. All right, nutritional tips. What are some of them? Drink 2 to 3 liters of water a day. Okay, people, show me who's got the big bottle of water right next to them right now that they're doing. Bring it up to the camera. All right, yes, I'm seeing a lot of those right now. Drinking water, it might be not having smaller portions. It might be trying to cut down on the caffeine. It might be some alcohol-free days. It might be eating more salads. It might be not skipping meals. Oh, not adding salt to things. That is so hard. Salt makes everything taste better. All right. But maybe then, if for you, there's something you want to do with regards to nutrition, make a note on page 6. If you reckon you've got this sorted, that's absolutely fine. Okay. And I'm not saying be on a diet. All right. And I'm not saying lose all of the joy in your life. We used to work with a lady named Michelle. Carla will know who I'm talking about. And Michelle was so healthy that she would bring in these brownies that were healthy and she'd make them. And she said, "These are completely healthy brownies." She'd say, "Scott, have one of them. It tastes exactly like a real brownie." And I would take a bite and it tasted like dirt and death. And all I could think of is that you've never eaten a real chocolate brownie. I'm not saying don't get rid of all the fun in your life, but maybe you want to make a change. And there may be some stuff you're not willing to give up. For me, I'm not willing to give up popcorn at the movies. All right. I'm not willing. If you don't eat popcorn at the movies, you stay home and watch Netflix. But what I'm doing now is I'm buying a box of popcorn that I can't fit my head in. All right. And you know what I'm talking about here, right? So if there is something you want to do with regards to the diet, make a note. Okay. Turn over the page. Exercise. Do you ever wake up grumpy on Monday morning, or already looking forward to the weekend? Or do you wake up energized, excited, and ready to get on with the day, right? Your body was not designed to sit behind a desk for 40, 50, 60 hours a week, but that's what we're doing, right? And some of us need to think about moving it. I mean, we now see people prescribing exercise in place of pharmaceutical or in conjunction with pharmaceuticals for a whole range of physiological and psychological maladies. Right. And so, I mean, we know the benefits of exercise. It limits the increase of adrenaline, which stops the immunosuppressive effects of stress. It releases beta endorphins, happy chemicals, which give us a sense of well-being, reduces pain, it improves circulation, respiration, increases your metabolic rate. It uses glucose and fat stores as energy. It decreases depression. It gives you more energy, gives you more vitality. Your muscles, including your heart and your bones, become stronger. You sleep more soundly, you think more clearly, and your joints, flexibility, and balance all improve. All right. We know this, but sometimes we're not finding time to do this. We're not making this a priority. So what type of exercise is best for you? Well, on page 8, I've just put a couple little bits of exercise. and maybe have a think about any of these. The first is aerobic exercise. They reckon you should do 20 to 40 minutes at least 3 times a week. This might be running, jogging, cycling, walking. I used to be a swimmer before COVID. And when the pools closed, I started running. Well, I didn't start running. I started old man shuffling and walking and stopping to pat cats and awkwardly saying good morning to other people. Now I get up, I run 11 kilometers every day. Well, not on weekends, but 5 days a week. I did 11 kilometers this morning. Right? My knees still make a healthy crunching noise when I walk up the stairs at night, but they've gotten better. They've gotten a lot better. So maybe there's some aerobic stuff. Maybe it's some strength stuff, squats, sit-ups, weights, resistance training. This is good for muscle tone, definition, bone strength. Maybe it's stretching, get rid of those aches and pains. Maybe there might be some mind-body stuff. All right, Jane's already mentioned the yoga, right? Or Pilates or Tai Chi. Yoga is great if you've got asthma. It elevates mood, it lessens anxiety, calming effect on the heart and respiratory system, improves your sleep, helps with your blood pressure. Pilates is good for people with back pain, deep training muscles. Tai Chi is good for cardiovascular, lung function, digestive, lower back, central nervous system. Maybe it's cross training. It's funny, when I was at uni, I went to buy a pair of sneakers from the Athlete's Foot, and I said to the guy, I want a pair of sneakers. And he said, what do you want these for? And I said, watching TV, drinking beer, running for the bus. And he said, oh, cross trainers. And I've now discovered that's not what cross training is. But maybe it's just, so if there's something you want to do with regards to the exercise stuff, make a note on the bottom of page 8. Maybe you want to get back in team sports. Maybe you want to get back to the pool. You want to get back into to running, back into cycling. All right, whatever it's going to be. If this is something you want to do something about, use this as an opportunity to make a note. Okay. Once you've done that, top of page 9, relaxation. I want you to just make a note. What do you do in order to let it all go? What do you do to unwind? All right. See, when I was a uni lecturer, I always had so much professional reading, I didn't get to read for fun. Now I read for fun and I love it. My mum likes to hear the ocean. As far as I know, she's never been in it. She just likes to hear it. She goes holidays near it. I got a mate of mine, Big George. He gardens to relax, which is stressful for me, because when I go around to his house, he shows me his lawn. And I don't know what to say. I just say, wow, that's really green. Maybe you could putt on that. I have no idea what to say. All right. But what I want you to do is find out, what do you do in order to relax? What do you do in order to unwind? And what I'd like you to do here is either call them out or type them into the chat box. Type in the chat box. What do you do in order to unwind?
I walk the dog.
Walk the dog. Lily, can I have a follow-up question? What type of dog have we got?
Labrador.
Labrador. You never hear of anyone being mauled by a Labrador, do you? All right. Labradors are just happy. All right. Muriel, take walks in nature. So good. Ride the bike. So social media. Play the piano is kind of cool. All right. It's kind of cool. I would love to have played a musical instrument. I got my son to learn the guitar because I figure it might help him get girls. All right. But you know, what have we got there? The wild birds in the background. Tracy, my mum would know exactly. So there we go. Karen's showing me the dog already there. Oh my goodness! Look at this guy. All right, tell me that is not a handful. That dog. All right. You know what? You know, play golf, go to the gym. Quiet drink is good too. You know, it's interesting unwinding. When I was a clinician, at one point I was doing work with problem drinkers, not chemically dependent alcoholics, problem drinkers, right? And I teach them to normalize drinking rather than abstain from drinking. Because if you do abstinence, I have one drink, I might as well smash 30 bourbons, right? And so I give people alcohol as part of the therapy. Alcohol is part of therapy. But I have to breath test them on the way and breath test them on the way out. And they have to abstain from drinking for 3 days before coming to see me, right? But they'd come in and they'd say, Scott, I'm so stressed. I'd pour them a beer, pour them a glass of wine, and they'd do this. I'm so stressed. Where does come from? Not here. Alcohol's great. It doesn't work that fast. What is it? It's sitting down. It's being able to let stuff go. It's doing it with friends. It's doing it in a context, right? And what I want people to do is I don't mind what yours is. Yours might be having a bubble bath. All right. Yours might be getting a massage. Yours might be, as we said, going to the beach. I quite liked as well. In that, go for a swim, which is good. All right. Yours might be watching Netflix. All right. And I love it. In the old days, a marathon used to be running. Now it's watching 3 seasons back to back. All right. But what I want people to do is to realize what you have just written down is not nice to have. It is must have. And what you need to do is you need to start prioritizing this, right? Right? You need to start to do this. And this is especially for the mums. You need to start making the time to do this and stop feeling guilty when you do. All right? Because this is important. This is investing in yourself. Okay. All right. That's the physical resilience. I want to talk about mental resilience now.